There are currently over 150 people on death row in Pennsylvania. All of the current inmates on death row are male, and 74% of those male inmates have been there for over 10 years. Today, I am here to inform you on a brief history of the death penalty in PA. I am also here to tell you about the laws and the effects of the death penalty on one of the Pennsylvania's death row inmates. I would like to start this portion of my speech off by saying that Pennsylvania has not killed any of their death row inmates since 1999. The state of Pennsylvania has been sentencing people to death since the early 1600s. However, at the time, people were hung illegally. That was until 1913, when the method changed to electrocution and was legal. And then in 1990, the state changed the execution method to lethal injection, which is the method that is still currently used. Before the death penalty had been formally established in Pennsylvania, it was the third highest state to perform illegal executions. This brings me into my next point. The death penalty is one of the harshest punishments that one can receive for committing a heinous crime. Typically, the death penalty is given when first-degree murder is executed. A separate hearing must take place for the defendant to be sentenced and put on death row. There are 10 aggravating circumstances listed in Pennsylvania's law that aligns with the defendant's crime if the verdict is death. 3 of the aggravating circumstances are killing a woman in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy, committing any crime to a minor under the age of 12, and then killing an officer, like a police or public servant or firefighter. In the case of a hung jury, the penalty is life in prison. A death sentence has to be affirmed by the state Supreme Court. If it is affirmed, the governor of the state must sign off on it. For my final point, I wanted to talk about the death row inmate, Melvin Knight. Melvin Knight was sentenced to death in 2012 for torturing and killing Jennifer Daughtry along with 6 of his roommates. Knight and the other men committed several heinous crimes against Miss Daughtry. Mr. Knight seemed to show absolutely no remorse for what he had done and did not feel bad that he was sentenced to death. Neither did his 6 roommates. This really showed in 2016 when he tried to appeal his case, and that was opened almost as fast as it had been closed, or it was closed almost as fast as it had been opened, sorry. To conclude what I have talked about regarding the history and the laws and the information on Mr. Knight, I propose the question, what do you think of the death penalty in PA? Thank you.
Very good.